Hey everybody, welcome back to YAFTV. It is Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. So glad to be back with you here on the channel. Thanks so much for tuning in. Every month I like to have on my fantastic sponsor, C60 Evo, and the two wonderful people from there, Chris Burrs and Patty Greer, are here with me today. We're going to be focusing in on longevity, why the ESS60 molecule plays such a great part in that when it comes to physical resilience, and how the body continues to stay young while aging, especially when it comes to things like inflammaging and the acceleration of that, of course, in the last few years, 4 or 5 years, we'd say. But I would say, of course, in the last, since the SAD diet came along and everybody gained enormous amounts of inflammation, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, let me bring them in. It's going to be a fantastic discussion, and then we will go from there.
Hello, Freeze.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
Hey there.
It's great to see you back again. And so, Patty, I see you've got a kitty on your lap.
Yeah, this is Uma. She's 18.
Wow,
and
fantastic.
she is a C60 Evo cat. I adopted her from my family members that got 2 dogs, and all of a sudden she moved into the closet and didn't want to come out. So a year later, I said, come on, you're getting chubby. Come live with me. And now she's on the road with me. She's being shy. She's on the road with me touring in an RV. We've been gone a month almost. And she knows where her house is. She gets out and cruises around, but she always knows where she lives.
I mean, that is amazing for an 18-year-old cat. And so I'm assuming you saw, like, I mean, even just the moving around in an RV for a cat is enough. But then when they're 18 and just normally that provides enormous stress for cats in their nature. But she at 18, and I guess she got a giant health boost when you put her on the C60 Evo.
Oh, she's been on the Evo since I got her, yeah. But actually, she was on the Evo before, and she's a feisty little mare.
Yeah. Well, she's looking fantastic. I mean, her coat, I mean, everything for 18, beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Well, sorry, we get a little distracted. Like, for me, cats are like squirrels, you know, squirrels. Okay, so that's wonderful right there. Lovely testimony of pets on Evo. So glad to be back with you both today. I know we want to talk about longevity some, what it means for, you know, how cellular health is health, and how the ESS60 molecule, C60 Evo, you know, creates or basically lends toward cellular health and helps to fight inflammaging, or basically giving you the physical resilience you need for not just, you know, degenerative diseases, but normal wear and tear of aging, especially as it seems to have been accelerated in recent years with all the interventions we received across the globe recently.
Nice way to say it.
That's a great way to put that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Chris, do you want to jump in first with maybe giving us, I know you have a slide. Oh, we're going to take, we always do this. I forget our little ritual.
Helps me focus.
Yes, it does. I'm going to go with the coconut now because I already had my fill of the olive oil this morning. So I'm doing coconut now for a little afternoon reboot. And I go straight from my little bottle. All right. Cheers.
Cheers. And I do switch it around in my mouth. You know, the Egyptians used to use olive oil as a toothpaste, actually. So it is known to be an antiviral, known to be an antibacterial. So very good for your oral microbiome. And we're talking about microbiomes all over the place these days. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about longevity and physical resilience as it relates to aging, right? This is really important. Here, feel free to pull up the slide. Sure. This is one of the key indicators of how you're going to age. I actually really love this statement. Movement is life, right? So keep moving to live. Tough movement is freedom. You want that freedom to do what Patty's doing and, you know, take off for months at a time in an RV. You got to do tough movement. And I'm sure in some of this, like, she's probably been taking care of some of the equipment and woken up sore because she's doing that tough movement.
Yep.
I kind of think you should be sore 2 to 3 days per week. That's a good indication that you're working hard. When you're thinking about moving tough, you want to be thinking about VO2 max and resistance training.
Okay.
VO2 max is really just a number that indicates how much oxygen your body can use. So how long and how fast can you exert yourself, right? And the more you exert yourself, the shorter that time frame is going to be. But so you want to continue to extend this, and it's how much oxygen your body can process at a time. And a lot of people don't realize how important that VO2 max number is. There's a 400 to you can see on the slide here. There's a 400 to 500% risk in reduction in all-cause mortality. So as you go from a low cardiovascular fitness or low VO2 max to a high cardiovascular fitness or a high VO2 max, you can reduce your all-cause mortality by 400 to 500%. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Right. Like, just okay. Now you're sold, right? Like, how do we do this?
Yeah, absolutely.
The next is that to have a low cardiovascular health, a low VO2 max is deadlier than smoking, right? So let's not look at that as, oh, I can smoke as long as I'm training. No, we shouldn't look at it that way. Get rid of the smoking and also do some tough training. And you should be tired. Your heart should be pumping pretty profoundly as you're kind of training for this. Of course, if you haven't done any training, connect with your physician and make sure that you're in the right place to do this and ramp up slowly. Don't go out. I love the sprint. Don't go out and sprint your max for 30 seconds 4 times, which, by the way, is just 2 minutes of working out and incredibly good for your VO2 max. Ramp that up. And if it's a walk, then walk faster, move to a jog, move to a fast jog, move to a sprint if you can. Those are ways to improve your VO2 max. Next is resistance training. So there's a thing called sarcopenia, which literally means muscle wasting. And as we age, we're subject to sarcopenia, meaning our muscles continue to get smaller and smaller. And in fact, I've seen images where they'll take like a cross-section image of the thigh of somebody in their prime and as they're aged. And they can be the same diameter, right? So that person's fitting into the same genes, but the percentage of muscle to fat will change dramatically. And we want to be fighting that fat. We want to be supporting that muscle. And you do that with resistance training. You want to be taking muscles pretty close to failure on a regular basis. And again, that goes back to that, being sore 2 to 3 times a day.
So Chris, so why don't you tell people what resistance training is? Because, a lot of people aren't going to go to the gym, but are there other ways of doing this? So, we used to be very physical in our lives. And of course, it's the opposite now. And so a lot of people don't even understand what it means to move your body. Truly. And a lot of people aren't going to go to the gym, but, what other things can you recommend that might bring the same result?
So there's really kind of 3 things that are super easy to do at your house, right? So one of them is just body weight exercises. That's like a push-up, whether it's a modified push-up or not. That's squats. You really want to be working your leg muscles. They are the biggest muscles in your body. And so that's just body weight. You really, once you kind of have continued to exercise at body weight level, you probably want to add some sort of actual resistance, which I would recommend either dumbbells or resistance bands. Now, the resistance bands, they don't take any space. You can keep them, on your counter next to your couch, right? And you just stand up and you just start using resistance. And go on YouTube, look up, hey, how to use my wife and I do have a trainer that comes on Wednesdays and Fridays. And when he's out of town, I just pull up a 30-minute full body dumbbell workout on YouTube and I do that workout. And I'll be honest, I don't do it in 30 minutes. I pause sometimes because they're doing a lot of work in that. But do that full workout, and that is that full body because you do want to be sore. So that's the resistance. And the resistance bands, I'm really excited about doing resistance work here, apparently. Resistance bands, like I said, are super easy and super convenient. And they're inexpensive. You can get them right off of Amazon.
Or somewhere else. But yeah, absolutely. That's what I do too. And the YouTube thing is perfect. Or I even, even on like, you know, they hardly even have it anymore, but like cable access TV where, you know, it's like those government sponsored, you know, paid for things.
Yep.
They have like, you know, all kinds of little workout things there, the 30 minutes, you know, and they have some that are specifically for people, you know, who are older, and they even have things for people sitting in chairs, you know, with limited mobility. So there's a lot of things you can find out there that you might not think, oh, I'm too old for that, whatever. No, no, no. These resources are easy to find, and they also literally just change your life for such an easy 30 minutes, even a day.
And
Well, I
remember,
want to add
go ahead.
that I'm in my 70s and I don't want to hurt 3 days a week. I'm not you youngins that want to, you know, like beat yourselves up until, you know, you beg for mercy. I personally just like to walk, and I walk until I get there. And then I have to turn around and walk all that way back. So I like walking in my 70s. I think we all just need to find what we resonate with for our age. But when Chris mentioned waking up stiff, you know, when you're camping, even though I've got this really nice rig, today I woke up just kind of twisted, and I am hiding my arms because, yes, I've done all my own setup and breakdown. And yesterday was setup day. I am so covered in bruises. It's humorous. And I guess each one is like a war wound that I'm proud of because I did it myself. And it hasn't been easy, part of it, but I just laugh my way through it, and the cat laughs at me. So, you know, that helps. But I really think that we are at a point where we've been maximizing our brain power with all that we've gone through. Even people that have no idea that we've been in World War III with whoever. I don't even want to start the news. But, you know, for people don't even realize that they can feel the frequencies have been so challenging. So aside from physical exercise, we have all really exercised our brains beyond the point of comprehension, in my opinion, especially whistleblowers. And this product is so good for brain power. So that's all I wanted to say as far as exercise, because I can't keep up with you youngins. But my brain's on fire. And I love it that this product makes such a difference.
Yeah, I want to, maybe I didn't explain it well, right? Because I'm not talking about being sore to the point that, I don't know, you've worked out your legs and now you can't get off of the toilet. Like, that's not the sore we're talking about. We're talking about the sore like, oh, I worked out yesterday, and you know it and you can feel it a little. We're not talking about pain. And remember, I love the walking. Movement is life. Tough movement is freedom, right? So just keep pushing yourself is what I would suggest. And this ESS60 molecule, we think, supports these things. And here's kind of the ways that we think it supports them. One of the things is the mitochondria produces the energy that your muscles use to do these workouts. And so you can look at this ESS60 molecule, and we're going to talk about that, what it does in the mitochondria during intense lifting, right? Again, not that maybe we need to adjust these wording, because I want to make sure, Patty, you are pushing yourself, because that's the right thing to do. And then those VO2 max, like, okay, walking a little bit faster. You're keeping your muscles operating for longer. That's going to help you build that VO2 max more when it comes to working out and doing resistance training. You're managing that oxidative surge so you can do more sets and push those muscles harder. Again, not to the point where you're so sore that you're like, oh, I don't want to work out again, but to the point that you feel it and you feel good about it. Just like you called those bruises like badges of honor, like your soreness should be badges of honor, not the thing that stops you from working out again. Definitely don't want to do that. Certainly accelerating recovery as you're supporting those muscles, and then buffering that fatigue so you can continue to push those muscles. So we really do think that ESS60 fits very naturally in kind of supporting your quest for VO2 max, increasing your VO2 max and increasing your muscle mass, or at least maintaining it. I have a couple slides I'm going to skip through. I really want to talk about what is this molecule. The molecule was discovered in '85. The scientists who discovered it won the Nobel Prize surprise. They thought the molecule would be toxic. They put it in a study, and instead of being toxic, the test subjects that they gave it to, in this case, Wistar rats, lived 90% longer than the control group. So you can see that here. I'm going to focus on one piece of this study that I think is really profound, which is a typical Wistar rat lives out to 32 months and has a known amount of tumor mass in its body. So you can see this tumor mass is growing day by day as this Wistar rat lives longer. Even though the C60 Evo rats lived out to 62 months, 90% longer than the control group, none of them had any tumors. And I've told this story and people are like, oh, cure for cancer. And I'm like, whoa, wait, no. And then I like to follow that with another no. There's a big difference between dealing with a cancer that has metastasized and potentially being a cancer preventative. We actually know things as simple as good sleep, good nutrition, and oh, by the way, good exercise are great cancer preventatives. This just indicates that this molecule fits into that potential cancer preventative. I will throw out, there's one study that I think is particularly relevant here. It's a Petri dish study. So it's a low level study. Like, I don't give a lot of credibility, but when you're talking about this amazing result that you're seeing on the screen and this particular study, they just marry really well together. And that is, in a Petri dish, they had healthy cells and cancer cells, and they introduced an anti-cancer agent, which is basically a poison. You're trying to poison the cancer cells before the healthy cells. In the presence of the ESS60 molecule, there was increased efficacy against the cancer cells and protective effects for the healthy cells. So basically, in the presence of ESS60, more cancer cells died, less healthy cells died. That's a pretty profound result, right? Absolutely profound result. And why might that be happening? Well, we do understand that cancer cells tend to use a different energy source. Their mitochondria uses a different energy source. The fact that we believe this ESS60 molecule works in the mitochondria is probably what's going on as it relates to the cancer cells in that particular study, and even in these rats where the C60 Evo rats that lived out 90% longer didn't have any tumors. This is all, we think, going on according to the BOSS theory, which is buffering oxidative stress system. So what gives credibility to this is there's peer-reviewed published research that shows this molecule gets into the mitochondria. From way back in the 90s, we know this molecule can hold up to 6 negatively charged particles on the exterior of the cage. I'm just going to talk real quickly. The reactive oxygen species are the things, the negative byproduct that the mitochondria produce as they're producing energy. And internal to your system, you've got glutathione and melatonin. These are key antioxidants to manage those reactive oxygen species. And you can see that happening here in this healthy mitochondria. But when you stress a mitochondria, either with working out or EMF exposure from your phone, smoking, drinking, smog, stressful conversations, stressful emails, that mitochondria starts producing more energy and more reactive oxygen species, these little damaging molecules, then can be managed by that glutathione and melatonin. And that's where this ESS60 molecule comes in. Again, peer-reviewed published research shows it in the mitochondria, holding on up to 6 of these negatively charged particles. And that's why we call this molecule the BOSS, the buffering oxidative stress system. We believe it's reducing the negative impact of stress mitochondria. I know Patty likes to jump in here and put her own spin on the BOSS theory.
I just like to simplify for people that don't speak big words of science or medicine, that what we're doing is detoxing the cells. So if you've lived on Earth for more than 10 years, you need work because we are being attacked with food, air, water. We all know these things. So when you have something preventative daily like this, that cleans the mitochondria, the powerhouse of every cell, and you've got 2 million in your brain, you are going to notice mental clarity and focus. So detoxing the body is what C60 Evo olive oil is all about.
And then that brings us kind of, I'll wrap up here. People ask, what's your experience on the product? We tend to think of it as like a 3-month experience that does parallel our most consistent testimonial, which is people take the product in the morning, mental focus and energy during the day, and then they report better sleep that night. So month 1 really is about that focus and energy. One testimonial that supports this is we've got some product to an influencer. She took the product in the morning. That evening, she sent in a video and she reported that she didn't finish her cup of coffee. Now, if you're a coffee drinker, that's a big deal. I used to be a 2 to 3 cup of coffee per day person until I started taking the C60 Evo on a regular basis. Now I'm more like a half a cup one. It's about the ritual, right? Like I come in, it smells good, it tastes good. That's what I do at the office. So that's focus and energy. Deeper sleep, really deeper sleep is probably happening in month 1, but because everybody gets a little bit more or less sleep, it can be very hard to go, oh, I started taking C60 Evo and my sleep has gotten better. One of the things I like to share is probably in the last 3 months, I've had 2 conversations with people where I'm like, hey, have you noticed anything? They've tried the product and they said, no, I haven't really noticed anything. And then I'm like, how is your dreaming? Are your dreams any different? And their eyes get like Bambi big because they started remembering their dreams again. That's a sign that deep sleep is happening. That's a sign that the way I interpret it is in sleep, you're repairing your mitochondria because of the boss theory and what this does in your mitochondria. That's already taken care of. So now your sleep cycles can do other things. So that's pretty exciting. And then finally, month 3, if you think about reducing the negative impact of stressed mitochondria, you should have systemic benefits. You should have what we have, which are head to toe testimonials. And frankly, we have testimonials that we can't even share until we do research, which is why we're starting 4 clinical trials. This is hopefully before the end of the year. This is one on frequent and severe headaches because we have so many powerful testimonials there. If you're experiencing that, this might be something you want to try. By the way, let me just throw out, the FDA has not evaluated our product. It is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease. Next is HSCRP. That stands for high sensitivity C-reactive protein. It's an inflammatory marker in our system, typically associated with cardiovascular diseases and cancers. We've got some great testimonials about reducing HSCRP. Next to sleep, we do have an ad hoc study as it relates to sleep. The most important piece of that study, it was a small cohort, but 100% of participants reported improvements in sleep while they were on the product. So we're doing a more formalized kind of clinical trial on sleep. And then finally, our cosmetics are getting amazing testimonials. So we're doing a sleep and age spot study on our cosmetics. And that's kind of how we picture a 3-month journey on C60 Evo.
Fantastic. Sorry, go ahead, Patty.
I learned something really interesting about my sleep on this trip. And now I'm sure that the cell towers they put up all around Boulder, Colorado, which are way too many, and flock cameras, and demanded that we each have a smart meter on our house. My sleep has been challenging. And I take Evo, so I'm like, I sleep like a log. On this trip, I haven't awakened in the middle of the night once.
Wow, isn't that amazing?
From all the dirty electricity and all the abuse on the house, smacked on the side of the house, the smart meters. There's too much evidence for us to pretend we don't know what's going on. And to have, again, I repeat, something that is preventative every day. What a difference. What an easy thing to do in the morning so that you are fighting with both dukes up everything that we have coming at us. And I do want to mention, yes, I'm camping for a month. I'm not all tattered and torn. I'm actually wearing a shirt that says fierce. It's got the tiger. So tiger, the claws, it's like, I seem to wear shirts that say it so my mouth doesn't have to. Yesterday, my shirt was, I identify as an American or as a human. And then the one that I bought here, I really like, it says, the hell I won't. And the cowgirls like this. So it's about being strong. It's about being direct and informed and aware. And I think that if you've got something clearing your brain, detoxing you every day, you're going to give yourself a much better chance than not. And all those supplements that all of us have been buying for years, decades, do you notice them doing anything? I mean, that's the question. I was spending a fortune. Now I don't. I only do this and a couple maybe of important minerals to keep the aging body going. But the C60 Evo Organic Olive Oil from our lab is the one that delivered all of these amazing results. It didn't come from any other company or any other lab. It came from us in Houston, Texas. And we're really proud to hold all these results. The 90% life extension went to Chris and Robert's lab. It didn't go anywhere else. So don't be confused. don't be certainly confused by the people that spam us, because this is the only ESS60 that I would put in my body or my big senior kitty. And we are two cats on the road, anti-aging every day. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about life because I am a survivor like you, Free. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, I got the thing in the arm, you know, 3 of them, whatever, I need help. Or I've been dealing with chemo, I need help. You know, everybody's got their issue or thing. But I think for most people, it's about, I want my brain back. I've been so distracted by darkness and lack of information because everything's so confusing. Boom, shakalaka. So easy. And it's 2 ingredients. It's ESS60, which is a pure carbon 60 molecule that we make in the lab because you can't find it, enough of it on Earth anywhere else. But it is naturally occurring, and organic extra virgin cold pressed olive oil from Tunisia, not from a store where it's been mixed down, blended, whatever. This is so clean, so pure that people that take it don't seem to get off. So we recommend people sign up for a monthly subscription to save 20% or whatever. We do wonderful gift collections on your landing page that they will not find on our website. So if we can take a minute and go to C60EVO, like evolution.com/YAFTV, you're going to see some really special deals. You can buy 2 and save money, 3 and save money, 6, 12, whatever. But the more you buy, the less you pay. And make sure and use Free's code, because it is on the landing page that we just mentioned. And it's also in the description below. And you will find amazing, hopefully amazing results. No matter what you're dealing with, people tend to feel better when they take this product on a regular basis. And yeah, so when people say, you know, what do you recommend? I've never tried it. We have the inside and out set, which is the starter set. This is for your skin. This is to go in your mouth. And if you do both at the same time, you're going to have other people telling you, wow, you look different. So I am super grateful for these products. And when I pack to go on my trip, first thing that goes in my toiletries is all the Evo that I need. And then I don't need much else. Like all those things that I used to want, if you can't read the ingredients and pronounce it and know what it is, don't buy it.
Absolutely, especially when it comes to the whole reason, you know, that cellular health, that, you know, you don't want to be putting that garbage in your cells. And, you know, it was interesting listening to you all, just, you know, Chris, your focus on that physical resilience and what it means to you, you know, what this gives you in your body and how it makes you feel. And you're, you know, and also, of course, you know, it also, of course, does wonderful things for your brain, right? And Patty, what you're talking about with the importance of keeping the brain, you know, in tip-top shape, and as we age, and what it means with inflammation. People don't talk a lot. They talk about inflammation, but so much inflammation going on with the brain as well. That is a huge, huge problem. And how for you, you know, this just being that you get to have clarity and you get to have will, you know, because both of those things come down to the will. And I think that's one of the biggest things being attacked and also going by the wayside in modern society, through everything, through the technology, through the interventions, of course, through the mind control that is all of this programming on these devices. And so when we have our individual will intact, because our brain is functioning well, and it's because also our body is functioning well, those two things, having the will to do what we want, go where we want, think what we want, having that willpower is so important. And I would say for me, with the name of this channel, you know, You Are Free TV, that is, you know, your internal, you know, your telic center, having that internal will to be you and to persevere and to go forward with whatever it is, you know, whatever kind of challenge. Sometimes that's just in the day, but is the saying, yes, here we go, you know. I'm going to cut out all the chatter and go. And that's, for me, I would say, one of the most exciting things about this product for me in my life, that I notice that since I started taking it in more quantities again, feeling more of that resilience, feeling more of the physical resilience as well, and the determination, the overcomedness, basically just, rising up out of the things that were keeping me down. And for me, that is priceless, basically. So I wouldn't trade it for anything. And so I'm so grateful to have it. And I'll remind everyone again, c60evo.com/YAFTV. That's the landing page. It gets you the discount with the code YAFTV. You'll see it all in the description below. And I want to thank everybody so much for watching. We tried to be a little more concise today, 30 minutes. So here we go. We just made it 30 minutes. Yay. So thanks everyone for watching. Thank both of you for coming on today. And, everybody, I hope you get to try it. It is incredible, incredible product. And they are kind enough to sponsor You Are Free TV. And that's why I like to have them on once a month so that everybody can be exposed to what an incredible product this is. So thank you so much for sponsoring the channel, as always, you both. And I hope you're having a fantastic summer. And to everyone out there, you are free. And I'll see you back with the news.